A very beautiful Monday morning. Welcome to Monday Blitz with I, Katila Macy, the queen of the mic. And of course, as you all know, I'm not alone. I'm with Coach Kabedi. Mambo? Long time.
Yeah. Opu kofiti sir.
Niko poa. And the beautiful Miss anaitwa Shira, Man City diehard. And the student ambaye roho safi, Fred Arocho.
Yes.
Karibuni sana.
We are here.
Live and direct. Mko poa? Weekend imekuwa fiti, Arocho?
Yes, lovely weekend. I was at the coast. I played a match. I was injured. I was stretchered off the pitch. It made news. So I'm happy. I'm back in Nairobi.
All right. Now, Kenya traveled to Ivory Coast, and we played Burundi at home, and Ogam did that thing. As we all know, Kenya are out, but Ivory Coast has to win to qualify. Now, let's talk about e-game inachezwa kesho. Coach Kabedi, let me start off with you.
Yes, it's true, Kenya, we are out. However, Kenya, we are fighting for the FIFA ranking. First, it's two things, the pride and the FIFA ranking. So I really hope Kenya tomorrow will surprise. And yeah, all the best to Makadi boys.
You have hopes tomorrow Kenya will beat Ivory Coast?
Yeah, I do. Any day, anytime, I will always support, I'll always support Kenya. And I think, or rather, I know we are going to make the 55+ million Kenyans fan happy.
Washira, to you, I can see you're sneering your face.
No.
You're not agreeing with Coach Kabedi.
I think after what I saw with Burundi, there's still, either McCarthy was experimenting with the squad. I mean, starting Harper, starting Wilson. I don't know. Najua pia McCarthy ni ngumu kujua his plan, his game plan. But after seeing what happened during that matchup, I don't know if we are able to beat Cote d'Ivoire. Because we really struggled against, imagine Kenya, we struggled against a 10-man Burundi. Hata nikiuliza mtu, which superstars do you know from Burundi? So either Ben is really experimenting, or we hope he does better. But for Cote d'Ivoire as well, it's a big assignment for them, because the difference between Cote d'Ivoire and Gabon is 1 point. And then considering Gabon, Abumayeng alichukua red card. So they're missing their key man up front. So do I think that we can hold them? I think we have a chance, yes, but now it really depends on how McCarthy will play his game. Asipotuanzishia Ogamolunga ama asipotuanzishia nani Alpha in the midfield, it will be very tricky. We are very tricky. Yeah.
Arocho,
Yep.
in depth, Najua, you have a lot to say about tomorrow's match.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to congratulate Harambee Stars. Good job. For me, a win is a win, regardless of how we won. We'd rather win ugly than lose playing the way we'd like to play. So I'm giving them the accolades. Getting 3 points away is not easy. Though I was a bit scared with the way the Burundians play that match. I watched the post-match interview where the coach was really critical. Burundians were out to crush our players. Look at the fact that we lost our goalkeeper in the first 3 or so minutes due to an injury. And then there were a lot of tackles flying left, right, and center. I don't know exactly what Burundians were trying to achieve. They had already lost, like us, but let's respect the game. The game should be played fairly, and we should win squarely. Moving on to the match in Abidjan, I'd like to look at this match differently. It's a big match for the two teams. True. Why am I saying so? For Kenya, other than the pride and the FIFA ranking, the individual players would also like to measure themselves with the best in Africa. A good number of players in the Cote d'Ivoire side are playing outside the continent. Yeah. So when you play such a formidable opponent, then that's where you gauge yourself. That's where we can start looking at AFCON. And this goes to the individual players. You gauge yourself when you play the best. For Cote d'Ivoire, there'll be a lot of pressure. When you're playing at home, a do-or-die match, at times it's not easy to play in such an encounter. It's not going to be easy, and if in any case they don't score a goal in the first half, then the second half will be even more pressure to the Cote d'Ivoire. And that's where I feel Kenya can manage a win because we can get them on a counter. They will be really pressing hard on us. But I believe that the coach, Benny, knows that and is preparing for perhaps a counter-attack kind of a system or a formation where we can be able to win. So Kenya winning against Cote d'Ivoire is not out of question because there'll be a lot of pressure, both from the fans and the individual players to play in the World Cup. Because that is the biggest stage as far as football is concerned. So each and every player would like to play in that stage, and that brings that pressure.
Let's hear what Coach Ben McCarthy had to say about tomorrow's match of Kenya versus Ivory Coast.
It's World Cup qualifiers. It's an opportunity for us to try and collect maximum points. But we know what's at stake as well, and we know that it's us going into the Lions Den, because for Ivory Coast, a win would definitely secure them automatic qualification for the World Cup. But yeah, we're not here to do favors for anyone. So for us, we go in there to play a match against a team that we want to win. We want to earn 3 points, and that's our task, our objective. And for us to lose, we have to lose to a team that we knew we had no opportunities, no possibilities of winning the game. That's the only way. We come out there not victorious because our opponents were much superior than us. But other than that, they're gonna really have to earn a place to play in the World Cup qualifiers.
All right, now we also what happened at Kasarani where Gabon beat Gambia 4-3. Aubameyang Manze, he did that thing. It was awesome. Now, if you look at that group F, yeah, if you look at that group F, Manze, Ivory Coast, Gabon, Kenya, Gambia, Burundi, and of course Seychelles. Arocho, he gave me Aubameyang.
Before I move to Aubameyang's, he's now scored 4, I think, in Kenya, because he scored against us.
He scored 5.
6.
Five now.
Five,
yes.
5. That is 3 versus 2 against us. But I think Gabon were a bit unlucky in the initial stages. I think their points they dropped, they ought not to have dropped. But that's now water under the bridge. The team that really diluted this group was Seychelles. Seychelles have never won any match. They've conceded a total past 30 goals.
44.
They've conceded the most goals in this group.
For 9
I think they diluted this group. And it just shows you that when you get an opportunity to get goals and get points, then you need to pick them. And that's precisely what the top 2 teams in the group did. Cote d'Ivoire were never lenient whenever they got their opportunity to pick their points. But it's a crunch match for the 2, Cote d'Ivoire and Gabon. Though, as you've said, Gabon are moving into the last match somehow crippled when they don't have their top scorer. Aubameyang has done so well for Gabon. And it's a pity that the quality of Aubameyang is not going to play in the World Cup. It's a pity because of perhaps the way they played initially. But I think it's positive. There's positives that you need to pick. Me, I'd like to look at it as Kenya. It should be positives that at least we've picked a number of points since Benny came in. Yeah. Though we were really exposed in the Gambia match, that one was a total exposure for Kenya. And it should be a way of us learning as we move on to the subsequent World Cups that are coming in future.
To you, Coach Kabethi, before I come to Ms. Wachira.
Yeah, I agree with Arocho that the World Cup qualifiers match in Kenya, we ought to pick lots of lessons from it. Well, it said that maybe if McCarthy came a bit earlier, maybe we will be there with Ivory Coast and Gabon, who's going to qualify. But something I'll tell Arocho maybe is maybe we might see Aubameyang in the World Cup. Maybe. That depends with
Fingers crossed.
yes, fingers crossed. That depends with how Kenya play against Ivory Coast and how Gabon play their last match, because Kenya can make Auba go to the World Cup. You know, if we take maybe a draw or win against Ivory Coast and Gabon win their match, then they will be there. So, well, I really pray and hope may the best team qualify from that group. But Seychelles, quite sad. They actually, they conceded 46 goals and only scored 2 goals.
Wow.
Ashira, too.
It's so unfortunate. I think for Abumayeng to pick up a red card, it was so silly. Because, I mean, if you look at even Gabon's, scoreline, he's the top scorer. I mean, he came to Kenya, he picked up 4 goals. Gabon is traveling to Burundi. They're playing Burundi in their next match. And if they're playing in Burundi's home ground, Burundi wakuna mafans wengi. They're like a small Kenya. That's why even the game against Kenya, it was a bit difficult for the Kenyan fans, because the Kenyan team, because there were so many fans. Other than the fact that Burundi played really bad football, I think you heard Coach McCarthy in the interview, he said how, I mean, Burundi walikuja kutupiga, because they were really throwing tackles, they had a lot of high boots, they were really aggressive. But also congratulations to them, because they almost contained us with 10 men. Now Waku sit back. They did not park the bus. They played football. But other than that, it's unfortunate for Abumayeng. I mean, he's the one who's held the team up to where they are now. Gabon play Burundi, so the chances of them picking a win are very, very, in my opinion, are high. Ivory Coast play Kenya. Kenya, because we usually have a pride thing to tower contain. Really, when it comes to big matches, and I think everybody has seen, when it comes to big matches, we tend to fight. We fight a lot. Also, not to forget to mention, Ivory Coast have stars all over Europe. So, I mean, look at Amad Diallo playing against us. Kama mentally tuweza. So it's Group F is a really tricky one. I think for me, the best, Bora City Kenya made the best team win. Yeah.
Bora City
to qualify. Whoever wins, wins. Yes.
Kama si Kenya.
You ni kama you're letting it go. Like,
I think maybe we can pick up a draw. But after what happened when we were at home against Gambia, and what happened in Burundi, I don't know how the team spirit is. 1, 2, I don't know if McCarthy will be able to call up the right squad for such a high intense match. And then also, if you look at the bench, the strikers we have on the bench are Lorenzo Kos, the one who's in Finland, Ogam and Olunga, and maybe Jobocheng. I don't know. Let's just wait and see.
No, just be honest. You know, just just be honest. You know it.
We will win.
We will draw, or
we will win.
Mungu akitupenda.
Ikiwa mbaya sana will draw.
Ikiwa mbaya sana.
Well, okay, now in Africa, Ghana latest to qualify. They joined Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, and Algeria as the 5 nations. They may qualify, right? Which other team do you think will join these 5? Arocho?
Well, before I respond to that, I'd also like to talk about Group C. I think it's one of the most fascinating groups
sure.
in this tournament. Why am I saying it's a fascinating group? It's a group that you're not sure who's going to qualify. Remember, South Africa were docked 3 points after fielding a player who ought not to have played. And I think South Africa needs to pull up their socks. There's no way you can play a player. And you know very well that the FIFA rule book stipulates so well that if you pick 2 yellow cards, then the 3rd match you're not going to play. I remember it happened here in Kenya where Abu Omar did not play the last match against Seychelles. And I remember the communication was quite clear. It comes from FIFA to the CEO of the federation who relays the message to the relevant authorities. I wonder what happened. A country like South Africa, with all that development, with all that sophisticated kind of technology, they could not have really picked that fact that player ought not to have played. Look at, they have lost 3 valuable points. The points they picked against Lesotho. I still believe that even without playing Ntabo in that match, South Africa could have won. So for me, that is unacceptable. Somebody should be responsible for what happened. But coming back to your, before I move to your question, this is a very tight group.
Group C.
Group C, where we have Benin still in contention,
South Africa.
Nigeria still in contention, South Africa in contention. Nigeria is playing Benin in Oyo, and there was a scare when the Nigeria national team had a scare when they were flying from Angola back home. The plane had to be rerouted back to the airport after taking off after about 25 minutes. There were technical issues with the plane. So it was a scare, but fortunately, they landed safely at home. So this is a very tight group. I'm seeing Nigeria getting a win against Benin. Then that will make it even more tighter because
versus Rwanda.
Rwanda is playing South Africa.
Yes.
South Africa most likely will win that match. But once again, they need also to reprimand themselves for losing the 3 points. The other teams that I'm seeing qualifying in that group, I'm seeing Cameroon. They have really struggled.
Cape Verde.
I'm seeing Cape Verde. Cape Verde for the first time in their history. And at times, it really frustrates me. Because Cape Verde the other day were just in our category, Kenya. Look at Cape Verde. Cape Verde is going to qualify in a group that nobody thought that are going to qualify.
And they're playing Eswatini.
And they're playing Eswatini at home. In prayer. For the very first time, history is going to be made there. This should be a challenge to Kenya. We were there, Rwanda, Kenya, Comoros, and of course, Burundi and the rest. But look at the fact that they're going to the World Cup. Do you know what it means to play in the World Cup? Other than the money that comes with it, that prestige.
Best of the
You're playing among the best of the best in the world. Kenya should wake up.
I think Coach Benny McCarthy said if we only had Benny McCarthy earlier. If we had Benny McCarthy earlier.
Not that obvious.
After what Gambia did to us.
No, but I have to say something about the Burundi match.
Yes.
They are opening a new stadium. So, of course, it was expected for them to bring the energy and everything. But I still hold, it's still a maybe. Maybe if McCarthy came a bit earlier. Some of the points that we dropped, I find them to be easy points.
This way. When he came, we drew Gabon. Actually, no, we lost to Gabon at home.
Yes.
Yeah. We were beaten by Gambia at home. So even if you look at just those two matches, out of 10.
But you see, even in those 2 matches, as you've said, coach is still kind of like experimenting. Like even the Burundi match, there's this pressure of having Ogam and Olung in the same pitch.
Just
as a coach, when you're having two.
For once, I will agree with her.
Before Rachel, you continue, I want to get their answers. Which other team do you think will qualify before we move to Benny McCarthy and Harambee Stars playing the World Cup and everything? Benny McCarthy.
Kabedi.
I don't know why I usually confuse Kabedi with McCarthy.
The way you smile.
The way I smile. Anyway.
Which other team do you think will?
I will root for. You see the Gabon match. Our polling. Either of the two might go in, and then the South Africa, the group, the South African group. South Africa seemed to have gone a bit easy because Nigeria and Benin, they have to battle for it. But I think Gabon might surprise us, and I think they might surprise us a bit. Or maybe even South Africa. Either of the two, I think will go in.
Ms. Washira.
I think there's an issue with that, is the South Africa squad, because there was a pull-out. Eritrea pulled out from the World Cup qualifiers, meaning that there's a rule in the FIFA, in the qualifiers, that if a team pulls out, then depending on the team that finishes last, there's a deduction in points. So I think for that Group C, kuna mashida mingi huko, because it's also still very tight. For me, I want South Africa to go through. Nigeria have a super team. If you look at the players, Ismail Issa, Papesa, and they're still struggling to compete. So I think for them, they need to go back and restructure. Although it's important to note that the four best runners-up. The best runners-up go into a qualifier, an international qualifier, which is very tricky because imagine mnaenda qualifier na teams, so many teams around the world. But for me, I think I really want Gabon to qualify, but the odds are, I mean, Gabon and Ivory Coast, there's a difference. There's a 1-point difference. Yeah. So even if Gabon win and Ivory Coast win, Ivory Coast have automatic entry. Yeah. If you look at now the Nigeria, that one, South Africa, Benin is on top of that group.
Yes.
But Benin winning is very tricky because I think Benin is facing Angola.
No, Nigeria.
Nigeria,
yes.
So Benin is facing Nigeria. So,
But you see, if South Africa wins, they automatically...
Yes,
no, but even if South Africa wins and Cote d'Ivoire...
Drop points.
Well, this is a very tight group.
Yeah.
For me, not Cote d'Ivoire, sorry. I'm looking at a direct qualification because look at Nigeria winning against Benin.
Yes.
Look at that scenario. It really just turns everything on their head. But once again, I still blame South Africa for the 3 points.
Have to drop points.
This is where South Africa ought not to be here.
Yeah.
They won their match fair and square, 3-0. And then simply because of administrative issues, you drop 3 points.
You know, because I think South Africa have 15 points.
Yeah.
After the deduction. After the deduction. So if they win, they go on 18.
Yes.
The league leaders are on 17. That is Benin, playing Nigeria who on 14.
Yes.
So the best Benin will want, or the worst they would want, is a draw. Yes. Then they lead South Africa with a goal difference. Assuming South Africa do not win
with more than 3 goals.
You know, yeah, so that's it's a tricky pool.
But also for Cape Verde, I don't know, mimi nasikia uchungu kama Rocho because Cape Verde wako ligi yetu. I don't know they're qualified and they're playing Eswatini.
If we had a Benny McCarthy.
No.
I've just broken it down. Unless Benny McCarthy alikuja 2 years ago. No other way.
You know, we cannot look at it that way. There is no way we are going to look at it that if Benny McCarthy started these qualifiers, then most probably could have. Football is not looked from that kind of perspective. A match, you are as good as your last match. That is how football is looked at. Because, yes, we won our last match, but
the previous
for me, what really scared me is the Gambia match. You know, Gambia were done with that, with Kenya, within 45 minutes. So that could tell you, and you know, by that time, I don't think Gambia were really convinced that they could beat Kenya the way they did.
They were actually
you understand? They were scared of Kenya because we had already done some very good job in Chan. So let's not look at it that way because it will stagnate. There will be a lot of procrastination tonight. Oh, jamani tungeweza hapana. Let's just forge ahead. We've lost. Now start all over again.
Now let's move on to Harambee Starlets. Arocho sometimes said that he believes Kenya Harambee Starlets will be the first team to play World Cup. Now they're playing WAFCON against Zambia on 24th. Gambia on 24th of this month. And their second leg, they're going to Senegal for their second leg. Now, Arocho, let's talk about this kikosi ya WAFCON.
I'm so happy.
Because if they win this, tukondani. Yes.
It will be the second time that we are playing the WAFCON. For me, it's not a big achievement for Kenya to qualify because we've already qualified before. For me, is the individual players will get a platform to showcase their talent. Though let's not start looking at us playing in Morocco before we qualify, because it's not going to be easy. This Gambia side won fair and square in their previous match. I think they were playing Equatorial Guinea, where they won both home and away. They won away 2-0, then home it was 2-1. So it's a formidable side. Let's just be keen and let's not repeat the mistakes that we had when we played Tunisia.
What mistakes?
What mistakes are you talking about? What are those mistakes?
Speaking of the whole match mistake, I have something to say
I will
about
elaborate.
it. I have something to say about it.
Elaborate. And you know,
step by step,
I'm normally very proud
Yes.
of what I say. And I can say it today, tomorrow, or even forever. I can say it even next year. Our fielding at home had issues because the very issues that I highlighted during the first leg, we corrected and we picked a win in Tunisia. So I was vindicated. Let's not go back there again. I really support, and I'm really confident of Beldin as our coach. But I pray that she can come up with a formidable side in our first match, because we have to win that match fair and square. Look at the way we struggled in Tunis. It was an uphill task, though we had a lot of very good chances here in Nairobi. And it was now Mungu's idea in Tunis. So we need not go back there. I don't want to bring the bad vibe back again. I'm just praying that the coach will get it right. As far as fielding his players, I think it's 2 Fridays from today.
The 20th and then on 24th.
I pray that we play well, and if we field the team well, tutawapiga vizuri sana.
Miss Anet Rashira.
I don't know. I know what Arocha was saying about the fielding in that game we played. But for the first time, I think I'm content with the squad selection. There's a very huge array of players from all over Vihiga. I remember we had a problem, I think a few matches ago, when most of the players were coming from Bullets. And then now, of course, Beldin has stepped down from Bullets, from coaching Bullets. So I don't know. It's a first international assignment without other matches. So for her, I think she's really focused on this specific match against Gambia.
Gambia, yes.
Against Gambia. And after watching under 20, was it under 20 or under 17?
Under 20.
Under 20 qualifiers, EU squad wanajua ball. Like, if there's anything we can say, if there's anything we can say is that wanajua ball kabisa. Like, these players know what they're doing. Although, unfortunately, with Harambee Starlets, we've not been picking as many wins as the junior teams. So we're hoping in these qualifiers, those things will change.
Coach Benny McCarthy, you were laughing when Anet was...
Coach Benny McCarthy.
Coach Benny McCarthy.
I'll take it. Kabethi, Ken, Ben, I take it. First and foremost, again, congratulations to the team led by Coach Beldin. We are here because of what they did. I won't talk about the Tunis match. It's behind us. We beat them. Of course, it's a giant team to say, and we beat them. We're playing Gambia on 20th and then second leg on 24th, but not in their turf, on Senegal. We're playing in Senegal because, again, we have pitches that they do not have. Before I say my sentiments, I'd like to add all Kenyans
To show up.
to Tokyo game. Let's show up for our queens, for our starlets, and let's be there for them. We only need these 2 matches, and then we are in for WAFCON. So I think, to agree with what Anet and Arocha have said, I think Coach Beldin is going to get a good squad selection in this match. Maybe her, now that she only has one team to focus about, maybe that will be an added advantage for us. But I've never, ever been worried of her work as a coach. She's one of the best we have in Kenya, and I strongly believe she's going to lead us to the second WAFCON, and maybe eventually even a World Cup appearance.
You're very
Well,
yes,
coaches are normally diplomatic. You know, he's talking about the best. Well, nobody is disputing that. But when we have to highlight what we feel is wrong. And I remember I did a post when the team left Nairobi. It brought a lot of issues. There were a lot of reactions, people posing questions here and there. But ultimately, whatever I talked about, the correction that was done, and then somebody might say that, okay, she did not do it because of me. But regardless of what she did, we picked a win. Once again, we have several players outside. I don't know what normally happens with ladies, and Washira can help us. We have a lot of, an array of players playing all over. The likes of Mora doing
Actually, was
wonders.
she called up?
Mora, I don't think she was called up. Mora doing wonders in Egypt, scoring goals left, right, and center. But as coach has ably put it, that should be water under the bridge. All we need as a country, hizo zingine ni side shows. All we need is a convincing win in Nairobi. Then when we go to Senegal, we can go there very confident because Yes, they'll not be at home, but that's their region. It's West Africa.
Yes.
And normally West Africans have some sort of an allegiance.
Yes.
You'll find them together. So if we can do 3 goals and above in Nairobi without conceding, then I'm sure that we'll be going to Morocco. And you know, for us journalists, that's an opportunity for us to travel. If the team doesn't, like we are going to Morocco for AFCON.
Yeah, and there's no Kenya.
It's next to impossible to find yourself in Morocco if your team is not there. But when your team is there, you know, you have a reason even to convince the authority within your media house that Kenya needs to be there. So us as Kenyans, other than being Kenyans, us to win, as journalists, we also need the team in Morocco so that we can also go there and cover our team.
Now, there's always a home advantage when the team is playing at home, and Harambee Starlets are facing Gambia second leg in Senegal.
Yes.
What do you think this means to the Gambians?
I think, of course...
Kabedi. Annette.
You
okay,
can
Damtupia too next. Of course, like what I had said with Burundi, and what we saw with under 20. Under 20, actually, Ulinzi was full. And there was so much support for the girls. So, I mean, Burundi looked better than us only because they had home support. So, Gambia lacking home support will really, like, not determine, but it will have an impact on how they play.
True.
Kabedi.
I agree with her. The 12th man support is a very, very vital thing for a team to gain a win. So I'll urge every Kenyan again. By now, all media houses should be speaking about this match. every vlogger like akina Net, Aroto, tunafaa kwa tuwapiga kelele kuhusu hii game by now. Tunafaa tujaze study, ionyeshe wadu kwa ma TV, let the girls feel we give them the support. If we do that, then the 3-goal margin Arocho is speaking about, we can easily get it. And then now when we go to Gambia, of course, they're not playing at home. Arocho has said there's that allegiance. But, you know, watu kuchezea game Tanzania na wewe ni Mkenya, bado yuko home. Ndio kunaweza kuwa na kale ka allegiance, lakini bado yuko home. So if we go with a big goal margin from Nairobi, we go there, then that will boost our confidence. And again, it's a females game. We don't expect to support sana na nini huko, but up at home, to support zaidi. Well,
On my side, I think when they played Niger in Senegal, they conceded a goal. For me, that is positive in the sense that, yes, they won 2-0 in Niger, but when they went to play in their supposed home, that is in Senegal, they conceded a goal. So that means that they're not really comfortable. They are not at home, really at home in Senegal. Sure. So this, for me, is an advantage. And that's why I'm saying that Kenya, we have to get a convincing win in Nairobi. Look at all these qualifiers. Look at even at the World Cup qualifiers for men. All teams that took advantage of their home matches.
Yes, did very well.
Did very well, regardless of how you play away. Sure. If you can pick, let's say, for example, in a group of 5 teams, those are 4 home matches. You pick 12 points at home. Yes. Then just get a draw, 1 or 2 draws away. Sure. You are good to go. Sure. So once we get a convincing win in Nairobi, then first, it will have sent signals that we are ready to go for WAFCON in Morocco. And of course, when they are playing in Senegal, they are not at home. So once again, if Beldin and team are watching, I know they are watching, or this clip will start going round, we have to get a convincing win in Nairobi. Period. Hakuna lingine.
Hayo tu kwa sasa.
Lazima tupige.
We have to.
Moving on to the SportPesa Premier League, the Nai Boys picked a win, their second win against Kakamega Homeboys over the weekend. And I believe Arocho has something to say about Shabana kama kawaida.
No, I have to. I even have to talk about Mombasa.
Okay.
But when
ODM Cup.
Yes, I want you to be the last person to speak about the SportPesa Premier League. Let me start.
I'll crown it all.
With you, Coach Ben
Yes, thank
I think
you.
let me just baptize you that name, Benny McCarthy. Okay,
Ben McCarthy
now.
should be a fan of Monday Blitz. Aone nani analinganishwa na yeye.
Kabedi, tuongelee SportPesa League manze.
The league has been good so far, so good. At least Arocho will confirm with me. The fans imeanza kuongezeka kidogo. Yeah, but speaking of the Naiboy match, I think Machaka is doing his thing again. He's doing wonders. He did, I think, a brace against Kakamega. And I really like how he's handling himself as a player, even with some stars coming in the team, and still showing this is my home, this is my ground. And yeah, all the best to the team. And yeah, before nimalizie, Mathare tunapatana na Shabana. I wrote
please wait, Coach Kabedi, Mathare is meeting Shabana. Prediction yako? Because the Shabana I saw at Kasarani Stadium and the Mathare that I've seen, what is the prediction? Before, Arocho, please.
No, I'm relaxed.
Kabedi.
But at least Meres.
Wait first, Annette. What's your prediction, Kabedi?
Yes. I'm building up to my prediction.
Okay.
One, as Annette said, we have rested. Shabana wametoka Mombasa.
Okay.
Wamezaragazwa vile inafaa. And then wanacheza midweek bado, I think na Posta. So by the time tunawa meet watakuwa na fatigue.
So what's prediction? Yeah.
But pia sisi tuko na ma-injury. Yote 9 ya 10. We are the giant slayers. No, we are the giant slayers. So au tutawachinja. I tell you for free. Elias CH atafanya mambo yake. Masiko will be coming back, I think, with that match. So a 3-1 win.
Wait, where will you be playing? Uko home?
Wait, Annette. What's your prediction? 3-1.
3-1 win.
Over Shabana.
Oh, of course.
I want that confidence in life. Going to
you want to be like Kabedi when you grow up.
Going to Gusii Stadium, beating them 3 goals, picking 3 points.
Yes.
With half the squad.
We are the giant slayers.
Anyways. Naiboys, I want to make a comment. Naiboys is playing in the league, and Naiboys is playing in Champions League, like Confederation, in the Confederation Cup, are 2 different teams. Maybe it's because, I mean, Muyoti is not part of he's not in the squad when they're playing international matches. But the Naiboys we see when they're playing league matches, aki wanajua ball. But this one that we see during Confederations, there's usually a bit of, kuna something, especially now that they're playing their matches this weekend on 17th. I really hope that changes, because if you see, like the game they played against NEC, we were really surprised, because kuna Naiboys zenye tunajua, Naiboys zenye lichapa Gor. It's not the same team. Other than that, congratulations to Machaka. Kuna mtu juzi aliniambia ati Naiboys are title contenders. I don't know how to feel about that, especially with the pace Shabana has. Gor vitu wanafanya. Also, ODM Cup, Ebenezer picked up a muscle injury. So I don't know how that changes in regards to title contention. But other than that, I'm so surprised. Gor Mahia went with half their squad. Half of their squad was playing international matches, and they still were able to come back home with something. So, niliambia watu, the only reason Gor would pick the Premier League this season is wakona depth. If you're missing Alpha, you're missing Austin, you're missing Sili, you're missing Kibwage, you're missing your full squad, and you're still able to compete with the Shabana that has not... Shabana melepeana mtu. With a Bandari that is in full strength, in full swing, and still pick up a cup, kuna mambo, kuna kitu.
Arocho.
Yes, I need to. Which one do I start with?
Start with the Naiboys.
Wait. Mathare Shabana. I watched Mathare versus Tusker.
Okay.
They need to work on it. I think actually Shabana will pick points in that game. They'll now be beaten that 3-1.
Thank you.
Let's start off first with the Naiboys and the KK.
I watched Naiboys playing Bidco in Muranga. Naiboys were just unfortunate. That was their first loss, but they were unfortunate. They played so well. They overwhelmed Bidco in the second half, but that's now what under the bridge. They lost 1-0. They moved to Buhungu, where they beat Kakamega home, and convincingly. Yes. You know, it's not just a win. It was a convincing win away. I talked to Muyoti after that match, and Muyoti feels that it's just but the beginning. They are playing on Sunday against Etoile. Etoile is way above the level of any team in Kenya. Yes. But I believe that Naiboys can give a very good challenge and even get a win here in Nairobi. I don't know what might happen in Tunis, but I believe they can win here. Coming back to Mathare and the likes of, no, you know, you cannot compare Dar es Salaam and Morogoro. You know, Morogoro is a very small town. Dar es Salaam is the capital city. Mathare traveling to Estadio de la Gussi, there's only one result that will come out of that match. And Mathare are currently not playing well. And in fact, when I stepped in, I asked coach, what's wrong with your team? After winning against KCB, you forgot to win. I think there's something other than the injuries that he talked about. They just need to readjust themselves, or else you'll go back to where you were last season, struggling to come up. I watched Shabana in Mombasa. This is the first match I've watched Shabana play this season. Fantastic. It's one of the teams that really showed a lot of promise in Mombasa. Gor Mahia overwhelmed. You know, Gor Mahia is a level ahead of the 4 teams that were there. Bandari are struggling because perhaps they're having a new tactician. Even the transition was not that smooth. The new coach came in, and then the assistant coach was to try and help him. Stepped aside, you know. So there are a lot of issues at Bandari, and that's why perhaps I'll be a bit lenient on them. But there's something I saw in Mombasa which I need to say here. The Mbaraki Stadium. There was renovation that was done there, and close to 300 million was set aside for that stadium. Guys, I didn't see any renovation done. The stadium, the playing surface, ni kama cowshed. You know, the canopy is not there, is half done. The seats that was, surely, what's wrong with us as a country? I didn't see 300 million kind of investment in that stadium. What happened? You know, it's unfortunate that we don't talk about such things.
True.
But we need to hold whoever did that renovation to account. True. He's done only quarter of the seats. Bleachers had to be brought into that stadium. The playing surface is pathetic. The drainage is not there. Surely, guys, what is happening? There's nothing we can do right. And I'm challenging the Auditor General because that is public funds. Bandari is a parastatal, and it's driven by our taxes. True. Somebody needs to audit what happened in that stadium and give us a report. I like what is currently happening when it's called Senate Mashinani.
Senate Mashinani.
I saw it in Busia. I am tempted to go when the Senate Mashinani will be in Mombasa to challenge the authorities, the parastatal, it's Bandari as a parastatal. What happened? True. Why do we have shoddy job done and everything else ni kama kawaida? Bandari Mbaraki needs to be a stadium that needs to be respected. Surely. And then the floodlights. Those people, there's no floodlights there. Those are street lights. You know, the game was played a bit late, so we believed that, okay, we are having floodlights here. But when they were on, it is street lights. Surely, guys, somebody must take responsibility of what happened at Baraka.
Arach, what's your prediction, Shabana and
Mathare United?
Clean, Mathare United.
The greatest.
No, Shabana is now on a roll. Jamani tusidanganyane. Other than what happened with Tusker, Shabana is now on a roll. Beating Shabana at Estadio de Gussi itakuwa ngumu. 2-0.
Clean.
Wakibahatika.
Now let's move a little back. Let's talk about the FKF Women's Premier League. Vihiga Queens wameshatandika watu 6 points on top, and then Ulinzi Stars, they beat Kipsed Queens 4-0. Kisumu Starlets, they drew with the Madri Soccer. Gideon Starlets 2, and ilipigwa na Kayole Starlets.
Yes.
Coach Kabedi.
Yes.
Let's talk about this FKF Women's League.
Let me start with the Kayole Starlets
match. Yeah.
Congratulations, Coach Busu. There's Kayole Starlets, they have this young player, Shilwatso. Oh, 4 goals involvement, 3 goals in 2 matches. Amazing. Something else I love to mention, and Annette, is I've been keen on what the girls' teams do in terms of marketing their teams. Do you know, I only saw a post-match interview only of Kayole Starlets.
It's a police sent, I think.
The others that I've seen, it's matches playing on Saturday or Sunday, they are not yet uploaded. That for me, in terms of marketing, but that's a discussion for another time. But yet again, I love what also Madeira Queens did, the Madeira Soccer Assassins. 2-0 down away, and they picked a draw. Amazing. Of course, Bullets, they won. But I still believe maybe, I'm not saying that Vijago and Odipo and Shiko are not doing a good job, but maybe if Berlin was there, maybe the goals would have been more convincing. I don't know. That is how much I hold Berlin as a coach. But I'm happy seeing the women matches, the girls matches being played more and more. And yeah, all the best to the teams, and may the best team win in the league.
Washira?
I think...
Ogele Vihiga sana sana.
I think what I want to talk about is fields. Kenyan Women Premier League teams are being given fields now, which is a stepping stone. I know we have so much to work on, marketing, getting people back to the stadiums, but we have pitches, which is what we were fighting for last season. They're playing at Ulinzi and also Polisako. Also, Maris is not a bad ground. So in terms of pitches, Apo, top. In terms of marketing, Police Bullets, I don't know if there's another team, but Police, also Kayole Starlets. Kayole Starlets, when they were coming from the NSL, they had engagement of up to 10 million on Facebook. Yes. So for them to pick it, I want them to pick it up and bring it back at the Premier League. Yes. Police Bullets are doing a good job. I've seen a couple of videos, a couple of highlights. Every time their goals scored, I get information, meaning there's something going on. So in terms of marketing, yes, we have a long way to go, but we are taking small steps. The team that is actually surprising me is Vihiga Queens. Vihiga Queens have picked 6 points and on top of the table. So, I mean, but anyway, Vihiga ndio walitupeleka the Champions League wakatufikisha hadi karibu finals. So Vihiga is a good team, although last season they let go kidogo at the end. Kibera Soccer lost this weekend. So, I mean, it's a challenge on the new coach. I think amenza kusikia uzito. In terms of Police Bullets have won 2 games, making Vijago look like...
It's a Galactico.
And, yeah, fine. Galactico. I mean, even Nikama Ile, you remember when Ancelot came and then he found a team? So Police, inherit a very good team. Yes. So even for him to not win the league, that would be crazy.
Before I come to you, Rocho, let's listen what coach of Ulinzi Starlets had to say over their win, 4-0.
I expect to pick up from penye tumachia. So last time tulianza on a slow, tulienda away, tukapata draw, ambayo ilikuwa game yenye hakuna chances, but tupata chances kadhaa tukablast. So I expect leo tutaenda ground. Game next obviously tuki-upgrade.
Tumpatikana kwa set pieces. Set pieces is something that imekuwa inatusumbua kidogo. We have been working on it. But you as a coach, you can do your part, and maybe you do more repetition kwa training sessions, and at least ujaribu to make players kupata that main objective about preventing opponents to score from set pieces.
Arocho, I believe you've been a fan of the FKF Women Premier League. What's your take on
I watched. I didn't have the privilege to watch this weekend because I was away, but I watched the other weekend when I was at Utali grounds when Kayole played the Bullets, a lovely match. I watched a magnificent goal by Chilatswa. Okay, Chilatswa. I normally have something that whenever I go to the stadium, I have, each match I go, I award something to the player that has really inspired me. So I saw 2. From Kayole, and I awarded them whatever I do award. So I'm seeing a lot of interest coming into the ladies' game. I saw Bullets with very many fans. Kayole had also some good crowd. So basically it's growing. But my wish is we could rewind time and go back 15 or 20 years ago where UNICEF used to sponsor the Women League. UNICEF had a very good package for the Women League. They used to ferry teams and even give you grants whenever you're playing. Each and every match used to have grants. So it's my desire that somebody can come and help the Women League. They need a sponsorship. It's not easy to move from Mombasa to Karachuonyo or to Oyugis or wherever. So it's my plea that somebody or a partner could come in and help this game, because once again, as I said, if there's a team that is going to represent Kenya in any World Cup that is in the senior category, it is the ladies. I'm not looking down upon the men. They're doing a very good job. But when you look at our the progression within the football, the ladies football fraternity is quite big. So that's my prayer, that some partner can come in and give support.
Actually, there's a sponsorship for the there's a tournament that is played similar to Mozart Bet Cup on the women's side. It's called, I think it was renamed Bet Power. So Bet Power came and sponsored the women's cup. So if we can get another sponsor like that, then that would change things.
Now, just in less than a minute, let's talk about the national rugby sevens, whereby the Shujas and the Lionesses played at the Nyayo Stadium. Arocho, just in a few seconds, let's talk about Shujawi.
Unfortunately, Belgium, there's a coach who died.
Yes, the women.
I feel for the family. He collapsed and pronounced dead when he arrived at the hospital. It was quite sad because he's a South African with a Belgium team. So it took long before the message could be conveyed out, because initially they had to contact the family because I think it's quite in order to talk to the family first, so that they don't really get the information from the social media or any other outlet. So I feel, and the team, I think they left, the Belgium team. It is sad that you're coming in with your coach and you leave without. But for the tournament, it has lost its glamour. We saw a lot of issues. There were no lights zilipotea. You know, at times we are not serious as a country because Nyayo National Stadium the other day is when we played Chan. Yes. You cannot tell me that we are having guests, then there's a blackout while the games are on. So it's a challenge to the rugby fraternity to try and bring this game back where it belongs. Also these Safari Sevens, it used to be our pride. But these days, it's like kusema, we are the opposite of our pride, but things are not well.
Anything you have to say, Ms. Wanet, before we wind up?
I've attended the 7 series, especially the one that is hosted by Harlequin. Rugby has more fans than football, especially before the whole CHAN, the whole everything. Rugby could attract everybody from campuses to high schools. But I don't know, for some reason, this Safari Sevens had like 10 people in the stands. I mean, 10 people figuratively. It's not common for a rugby match, a rugby series being played in Kenya, missing fans. So one, for me, I think one, poor organization. 2, the marketing that they did for this Safari Sevens ilikuwa chini. If you see what they do for Christie's or what they do for the KCB circuit, it's not the same. So I don't know what happened this time. I mean, congratulations to Shujaa. I will not take it away from that and the women's team and Lionesses. I will not take that away from them. They put up a beautiful campaign that saw them win the title for the first time. I mean, both women and men team winning at the same time. So congratulations to them, but Safari Sevens should do better.
About your message to Shujaa?
First, as Rocha said, condolences to the whole Belgium fraternity and the coach's family. Second is congratulations to the Lions and the Lionesses. And there's something I always say, Katela, for things to work, there have to be good systems. We have good stadiums, but we have a system to maintain the stadiums. If we do not, which I know we do not, then I wrote such things will reoccur again and again. Again, for the marketing as well, For something to brighten up, it needs to be put out there. You don't need to glow in the dark, you need to glow in the light. If you're able to glow in the light, you've done good marketing. If you glow in the dark, you're just normal. So at the moment, I think our rugby is glowing in the dark. We need to find a way to glow in the light.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen and lady, Mr. Netrashila. It has been Monday Blitz. I'm Katela. Say good morning.